Well, hello there and welcome to my workshop. Now in this series I'm building a classical style acoustic guitar, but with a difference. I do hope you'll join me. Good afternoon and welcome back to my workshop. Now I'm carrying on with this guitar and I want to get the frets in. I do want to stain the top and I want to talk to you about binding. So let's get on. Now before putting the frets in, I decided to put some CA glue on the surface of the fretboard. Now I'm using a wood called Panga Panga, which is a bit like Zebrano, and it has a tendency to splinter. So by putting the glue on the surface, I'm hoping to make it much smoother and to avoid any splintering. Right, I've got a few frets in. I'm struggling with this, I have to be honest with you, because I put the super glue on, rubbed it in, and obviously some dust and glue got wedged into the slots there, so I'm having to clean them out, and it's a very, very, very slow process today. So basically I'm just digging it out with this old saw blade. Some slots are worse than others. I would normally cut all the frets to length first and then start putting them in, but to be honest with you, this is such a fiddle. I'm doing each one as I come to it. I just use this simple fixture here to file off the tang. And it's just a question of getting that lined up right. And thumping it in. Using my new Dead Blow rubber mallet, which is absolutely brilliant for this. I'm not gluing these in. I don't normally glue them in, and they seem to be quite tight fitting, so I think I'm okay. Right, well I'll carry on with this and I'll come back to you once it's all done. Well, that's the last fret gone in. Okay, I notice I've not finished the binding on the end there, so I think I better just do that. Okay, I've just cut a piece and sanded it down, so it's a question of sticking it in place. Right, well I'm back in the workshop after a few days and I want to get on with this guitar, but before I do that, now then, Corey, if you're watching from Soul Good Guitars, now Corey is the curator of the Guitar Builders Collective Instagram page and I believe Facebook page. I just want to say, Corey, I've got my 2 Jürg's Cup t-shirts on order to replace this one, which has rather gone past its best. And I'm really excited this year because this year the challenge is to build a hollow body guitar, and this is right up my street. Now I do hope you guitar builders will join us in this project. I mean, we encourage you to go and get a Jürg's Cup t-shirt, and I'll put a link to the shop below to support the charity that his family support, the leukemia charity. But it is a really exciting challenge. I mean, there's no prizes at this, but all of the guitars will be featured on the Guitar Builders Collective Instagram page. You just need to tag the Guitar Builders Collective and Corey will put it on the page. And well, it's a bit of a challenge, and I would say to you, embrace the challenge and try and build an electric or acoustic guitar, but in the style of an acoustic guitar, i.e. bending the sides, bending the ribs and fitting them on the back and the top, putting some bracing in, because I know you'll have a lot of fun. You'll save some wood and you'll have a really lightweight guitar that will play acoustically and electrically. So get that wood, make yourself a bending iron. It's not difficult. I'll put a link to a video I made about it, and get making those hollow body guitars. Anyway, I'm going to get on with this guitar. The frets are in. They need to be dressed, and I need to do that, but I'm going to put it to one side for the time being because I want to put the stain on the top of this guitar. Now, I did say I'd mention it. I'm not going to put any binding on this guitar, and I've thought about it long and hard. I've done some experiments with my router to see if I could possibly do it, and there is a chance I could do it. I am very worried that I will chip out this top because of the nature of Zebrano. It's very brittle. It does chip quite easily, as you can see just there. But I think if I put a binding on this guitar, I'm actually going to weaken it. It's got a nice joint at the moment. It looks quite nice because of the type of wood I've used. So yeah, I'm not going to attempt fate and just mess this up. So I'm going to leave it as it is. But I do want to get some stain on it because that's going to be an important feature of this whole front piece. Now, you may remember many moons ago when I set out on this project, what inspired me was the grain on this wood. This is the Zebrano wood, and I just felt it looked like ripples on the sea, and I tried to apply some blue stain to it, and I was really pleased with the results. So what I've got here is a test piece, and I'm intending to have a go just seeing how I'm going to apply this stain. I'm using Solar Lux stain from Belen, I think is how you pronounce it. This is a spirit-based stain, and I rather like the colour. It's sort of like a sea blue colour. So I think what I've got to do is apply it and then sand it back, because I want different sort of tones. So here we go. Now, unfortunately, I've got a bit of glue in the middle there, or a bit of paper that's stuck on that, but let's give it a go. So there's some stain. I'll let that soak in a bit and then I'll sand it back. It's always handy to have something else to do while you're waiting for things to dry. So I think what I'm going to do is start dressing these frets, and the first thing I need to do is to get the sides nice and smooth. To do that, I've got this homemade, well, it's a file on a block, and I'm just going to run it down each side until I hit wood. Now I'm just running a 180 levelling beam down the side. Now I just need to take the burrs off the end there, and I've got this little triangle file, and I've ground one edge smooth so that it won't dig into the fretboard, and it's just a question of sort of gently rounding that end off. You don't want anybody to catch themselves on it, that's the idea. Sometimes it's hard to see and may need a finer file, and for that I've got this smaller triangle file, and once again I've smoothed one edge off, if I can find it, that one there, so that it doesn't dig in. Right, let's sand this down a bit. I think I'll try giving it another coat, letting that dry and sanding that off. What I'm looking for are patches where the wood has come through, so it's more sort of the brown of the wood, and patches where the stain's gone in deep, so you get a deeper blue, so that idea of light and shade. Let's see how it goes anyway. Okay, back to the frets. Now my tip for the day, and I usually forget to do this, is to put a strip of masking tape on each side of the fretboard before you attempt to put the tape across the top. And the reason for that is it makes it a lot easier when you come to get the tape off if you've got those two strips on each side. So just going to carry on now and tape up the board using the Ben Crowe's technique of bending the tape in some places, like so. It's very sticky, this tape. I don't want to push it on too tight. I've got to get it off. Maybe easier with thinner tape. All taped up and marked with blue marker, so I'm just going to rub this levelling beam, which has got 320 grit on it, over the top gently. Got a bit of a low spot there. I've actually used this crowning file, which has got a sort of a dip in it, I don't know if you can see that, to do the tops of these frets. I don't normally do it with this thing, but I've seen people use it recently, so I thought I'd have a go again. It's not particularly brilliant, and it means I've got to do quite a bit of polishing afterwards, but they are coming back up, so that's looking good. I mean, my approach to fretting is, if I know the neck is very flat and I can get all the frets in nice and tight, then I wouldn't normally do levelling. I'd just check to see which frets were high, but with this one I couldn't really get them all flat, so I needed to do a bit of levelling. Just give them a bit of a polish at the end here now. Now hopefully this is where those side pieces of tape come in really handy, because we should be able to lift all of this off fairly easily, he says. And we'll just work it off. Yeah, some of this tape was a bit too long that I put on. At last, got most of that off. I always think it looks lovely once the frets are all in and nicely polished. Smashing. So this is 2 coats and some sanding, and I think I'm getting the sort of effect that I'm looking for. Let's put some oil on it and see what it looks like. I'm using this Liberon finishing oil on this guitar. Yeah, that's what I'm going for. That's the look. Now I'm not sure if this is going to work, but I've just painted some hot wax round the binding of these dolphins, because I don't really want to get those stained. So I'm hoping that that'll stop the dye going into the wood there. And of course, using hot wax on a brush completely buggered the brush, so that's gone in the bin. Okay, here we go. In for a penny, in for a pound. Try to avoid to get any of this on the edge of the guitar. You just want it on the top. Here goes. Right, so I've put the second coat on of the dye, and I mean the real question is, you know, is this design concept gonna work, or am I all at sea with this guitar? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to leave you in suspense, because I've got to get this video edited, and you're going to have to wait for the next episode to see if everything's going to be okay, or, well, we'll start again. Oh, I'm pretty confident. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to leave those comments below. I really enjoy reading them and I love all the advice. Thank you very much indeed. I'll be back soon. In the meantime, stay safe. Cheers.